20 years ago, Teddy's Research Center started working on a very innovative research program reflecting on the impact of new technologies on industrial models. Italy at that time represented a very interesting benchmark. Industrial districts were representing a very interesting feature at the worldwide level, not only in Italy, not only in Europe. And the digital revolution, the impact of the internet, the web, represented a challenge, but also a great opportunity. We've been working on this, and 20 years after this very seminal research, we decided to stop and reflect on what has happened in these years and what is the state of the art right now, not only in Italy, but all around the world. This is why we asked the contribution of researchers coming from the United States, from China, from Japan, and from many other countries. It is a privilege to have this comparison. It is a way to restart a research program that has a very promising future. 20 years ago, industrial districts were at the heart of our research program. Today, cities and metropolitan areas do represent, in our perspective, the new phenomenon that deserve our attention, not only as economists, but also, more in general, as social scientists. One aspect that characterizes the Italian economy, and especially its industrial system, is the link between our most interesting firms with a very strong tradition, and in particular craftsmanship. In recent years, this tradition has been challenged because of the impact of new technologies, and particularly what we call Industry 4.0. How to put together these two different ingredients? How do we put together, on the one hand, craftsmanship and tradition, and on the other, the digital technologies that promise to be very flexible and very productive at the same time? This research question has been at the heart of our last 5-year research activity, and this is what we bring to the table to contribute to a very international debate.
The intensive graduate activities at Venice International University are designed to provide cooperation opportunities among the universities. So the intention is to build connections to work on joint projects from an interdisciplinary and an international perspective. The graduate seminars are thematic intensive seminars. The intention is to build cooperation between departments in the member universities. They are for more junior students who are interested in developing research, so both master's level students and first year PhD candidates. The experienced professors who teach the graduate seminar help these students frame their research question for their PhD.
The idea of the VIU graduate seminar is based on the fact that we have to rethink the way we produce and how we consume, taking into account the new technological landscapes. So we had this idea to put together 15 very interesting and experienced students of a master's and PhD level from very different backgrounds, from management, economics, environmental engineering, and political science, with different backgrounds, but also different countries and different international experience. And we asked them to think about new research questions that can be developed, with the idea to identify new research paths and new research opportunities to disentangle what would be the future of manufacturing and consumption in the area of automation.
Traditionally, globalization has been a process in which manufacturing in particular has been spread all around the world. Recently, we've seen a consolidation in globalization in terms of both companies and countries doing more specialized processes. I think digitalization is raising both new opportunities and new challenges for globalization. On the one hand, digitalization is speeding up the flow of production and consumption, and especially in areas like e-commerce. Digitalization is making it possible for people to get goods more quickly and in a more customized fashion. The challenges of globalization often are on the labor side, especially digitalization, because the new technologies that are being available, automation, e-commerce, artificial intelligence, are opening up possibilities for new forms of production, but they are also reducing the amount of work that's needed and decentralizing how the global value chains work. Okay, so from a research point of view, we're finding that both companies and policymakers are asking how the changes associated with digitalization are affecting what they have done traditionally with global supply chains. I think that we are starting to look at big countries around the world where they are the major producers of a lot of these digital technologies. 3 of the biggest countries are US, China, Germany. They're very much informed by this Industry 4.0 set of questions. I think we're also looking at how different industries are being impacted. And in some ways, there's a whole new set of industries connected to the knowledge economy and new technologies around companies like Google and Facebook and social media and Alibaba. But I think small companies are also trying to figure out whether they can use these technologies to become more linked in a sustainable way. So a final takeaway, I think, for a lot of the researchers is the technological potential of these technologies is often far in advance of how they're being applied in a real way. And so our research agenda is looking at what kind of applications have been most effective and in terms of these new technologies, and not just what the future potential is.
I think we are in the middle of the so-called really the mega trend transforming from the industrial economy to the digital economy. So the biggest challenge for everywhere, certainly for Chinese market or developing countries, like so the digital talent. So the labor skill for work skills are not equipped for this type of digital world. What do I mean digital talent? It's not like certainly like those IT workers and the software engineering, all those AI engineering, they are certainly the digital talent. But more importantly, we call it the complementary skill sets for the ICT workers. So the people who can use the digital tools, who can understand the logic of the digital economy to run the business. So that's actually the big challenge. And particularly I think for many developing countries, and they are not even finishing their industrialization process yet. How the digital transformation will affect a lot of the upstream industries. So that actually is what are the difference between the developed world and the developing world. Because I will talk about later on, so the developing world, the industrialization has not finished yet, but suddenly, all of a sudden, internet and the digital transformation, arrived. So that's a lot of issues, yeah.
So the gathering the information and the processing information is a big issue. Not only the gathering information, how to use that data is very important. The collecting information is very easy, only using some sensor. But the data process, analyzing that data and how make some benefit from this, find some essential point is a very big issue. But a very important problem. My research area is about the human-robot interaction, not only the physical interaction, but also the mental, the spiritual interaction is also thinking, because the human and robot is work together or collaborative together more and more. And in that case, what kind of problem, what kind of solution can be provided. And how to make some profit benefit is one issue. So therefore, the physical interaction, not supporting some force or the movement support is also necessary, but the mental commitment is one big issue and my interest.